Hey everybody, I hope you all are doing good today. I am just here because I recently went to the library and picked up a bunch of books, plus I may have bought a couple books. I have a weakness for books, that is 100% true, but only a couple. And it was only because I was in the mall. Actually, did I grab that book? Oh, yes I did. Okay. So, first I'll talk about the one that I'm reading right now. I'm actually reading like a couple at the same time. It's like insane actually, but whatever. So finally I got to start reading Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I'm pretty close to being done with it at this point. Sorry, this way. I've got like 30%, maybe 20% left. Um, so let's talk about it. I really like the content of this book, and I really think the story itself is interesting. Obviously, he's trying to tell a story very much like or similar to Susan Collins with the Hunger Games. It's very much that idea of a segregated society. In this, their society is segregated by colors. Like, there's basically every color you can think of, golds being at the top, and I guess reds being at the bottom. And then in the middle, there's blue, pink, green, so everybody is segregated to like whatever they're born into essentially. So and some of it is like literally horrifying. Like the pinks are I can't, I don't, it's like I don't even want to like talk about it. It's so disgusting. But like the greens are like techies, and then there's violets too, I guess, and they're called carvers. So they're the artists, but they like carve things, which is like basically like mutilating something to make it kind of look like something else. Okay, it's horrible. The golds run everything, and the reds are the miners, and they mine everything on Mars. We're in space, okay? And so we start off with Darrow, who is a red, and he is a mining red. There are high reds and low reds. Maybe for the colors there are other specifications. I don't know. Doesn't go into that, except for with the golds and the reds. So Darrow is a low red, so he is in the mines. Now, the folks in the mines are not aware that there is civilization outside of being in the mines in Mars. They are told that there is no civilization, that they are working to make civilization happen. But turns out civilization has already happened, and they just tell the Reds that there's no civilization and that they are working towards civilization to keep them below ground and quiet, I guess. I don't know. It's horrifying, but Darrow obviously finds out that's not true, and he is chosen to help some rebels um, kind of infiltrate into the Golds and eventually take them down, I guess is the idea. So um, great plot, and I love the idea of destroying and dismantling from inside, but some of it really. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm a very big fan of Pierce Brown's writing style, and that's a personal preference, 110%. And I think, like I can read The Hunger Games. It's horrible, but I can read it. But this is like his writing style is so gritty, and it's it, there's many times that I am just disgusted as I'm reading it, and it's a good thing. It's supposed to disgust me. It's not supposed to be a good thing, right? So I guess it's doing its job technically, but there's a lot of like fake curse words, and kind of like how if you read the Maze Runner, like everybody called everybody shuckface and things like they made up their own curse words. So he's kind of done that by putting other curse words together. It's very strange. There's a lot of curse words. There's a lot of innuendo. There's a lot of like he doesn't sugarcoat anything at all, or like cover anything at all, which is good for what he's trying to make it as horrifying as possible. But like for me, I can't really perceive myself continuing to read this series, because for me it's like it's a bit too much. It's a bit too much. I'm definitely gonna finish this because I've come so far. We're gonna finish it, and there's a couple of things that I want to see if they happen. And I mean, maybe I think I would borrow them. I would not buy them, but it's really an intense read, and it's really depressing. I would definitely, and there are some horrific things that happen, like assaults on women and things that I don't even want to like think about really. Um, But anyway, and I think the hard thing for me with Darrow as the lead character, so they make Darrow become a gold so that he can participate in like this school. It's called the Institute for Golds to toughen them up, right? Because they're pampered. The kids are pampered and they have everything they want, so they want to toughen them up. Um, so they put them into this school, and the school has a culling first. So basically the higher ranking guys kill off the lower ranking guys right at the beginning, and that was really depressing. And then it goes into this like literally a war situation, like a fake war, between the goals to see who can outstand the others, and the last one standing wins, kind of thing. um but it's hard when your main character, your hero that you're supposed to be rooting for, has to act and behave like these awful people. And and they're all teenagers, so they're all like 17, 18 years old. So there's also the fact that they are just children. Okay. Maybe they have been raised in the evil society, but they're a product of their environment, and that's like it messes with me. But Darrow has to act like them, and yeah, he has this inner dialogue now and then that's like, wow, I don't want to be like this, but I have to be like this, kind of thing. But the fact that like your hero is morphing his morality to their morality is really hard for me. So I just don't find myself rooting for Darrow that much, and most of the time being like, dude, what are you doing? Kind of thing. Not that there aren't characters that I like in this. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I keep saying Roke because it's R-O-K, no, Roque, Rook. Maybe it's Rook. I don't know. But in my head, I say Roke every time, but it's probably like Rook or something like that, something nicer. I like him because he doesn't seem to like what's going on, but he has more of a level head. However, he's not really a fighter, so he's not really contributing in that way. But I like him because of that reason. And like Cassius is kind of fun, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a hard one for me. Anyway, I think it's probably going to end up being a 3-star for me because it's very interesting. I just don't like it. I just don't like the language. I know a lot of people love this book. I'm happy you love this book, but it's too much for me. It's too depressing. So anyway, we'll finish it and see what happens at the end. And then I picked up this little gem, Wings of Starlight by Allison Saft. And this, of course, is the story. Oh my gosh, look at the back. Oh, I love it. This is the story of Queen Clarion, I think is right. Yes, Queen Clarion and Milori. That's right. So, and their little romance, which obviously ends in tragedy. If you've seen any of the Tinkerbell movies. Okay. There's one that's called The Secret of the Wings. Okay. Yes, I am a 30-year-old, but I have seen all the Tinkerbell movies proudly. But The Secret of the Wings goes into explaining how cold fairies, like Mallory, can't come into the warm environments where Clarion lives. Okay. And because if you do, your wings get messed up. Okay. In the Secret of the Wings, you find out that there was a romance between two fairies, and it ended with one fairy having their wing broken. And you can never fix a wing when they're broken. Fairy wings, when they're broken, unfixable. Okay, unless you have a sister, because that happens to Tinkerbell, and her sister is able to fix her wing. So, but Mallory, his wings don't get fixed. Spoiler alert. His wing ends up getting broken. You find that out in the movie, so it's not really a spoiler. That movie's been out for years. But this is their romance story about when they first met. And I'm so excited because, like, this is what I'm talking about. I love these kind of stories. I am not big on romance. However, I know this because it's a Disney. It's a Disney romance. It's going to be clean. It's going to be cute. It's going to be fairies, and fairies are fun. And so I'm really looking forward to this. I read the first chapter already. But I want to finish Red Rising first, so we're going to do that. But I also got a bunch of library books, so I might have to put this on pause and read the library books. Again, I'm a slow reader, and I bought giant library books. Oh my gosh, that's wrong with me. But I'm excited about this one. And I have one more that's just mine that I started reading, and then I think I might DNF, but I got the Wingfeather Saga, the first book, which is On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. It's a kid's book. It's like a mid-reader book. And I thought it would be really fun. I've heard a lot of good things about the Wingfeather Saga, and I generally like mid-level books. A lot of my favorites come from that, like Artemis Fowl and the False Prince series. And there's another one, but I can't think of it at the moment. But I generally like this level. Um, for just the clean adventure. It's always fun. But this one is really slow. I think I'm 80 pages in, and it's kind of feeling like a slog, so I don't think I'm going to end up finishing it. At least not right now. I'm just not in the mood for it. Not that it's bad. I'm just not having a good time. So we'll probably end up putting this one away. So, library books. So number one, I got Delicious in Dungeon by Ryoko Kui. Kui? I don't know how to pronounce the last name. But Delicious in Dungeon is a manga series about literally it's Dungeons and Dragons story where people go into dungeons to fight monsters and level up, and they can die, but they die if you die in the dungeon, you just get spawned outside of the dungeon. So it literally is like Dungeons and Dragons or like a video game or something, which is hilarious. I read the first one. This is the second one. And um, when I got the first one, I was like, this is so weird. Like, I don't perceive myself reading another one. Like, it was funny, but I didn't perceive. But then I saw this in the library, I saw the second book, and I was like, you know what? It was funny enough for me to try again. So basically, the whole point of this is that this group, this trio, or actually, I think there's four of them. There's a dwarf, a human guy who's like a knight, and a halfling, and this elf girl who uses magic. And they are really bad at their job. Okay, they are really bad at dungeon crawling, and but the knight's sister, I can't remember his name, but anyway, his sister ends up getting eaten by a monster, and I guess there are certain monsters that you can't spawn back from, so they have to go back to the spot where she got eaten by the dragon to save her from said dragon. And but when they got spawned outside, because they all got murked, so when they got spawned outside of the dungeon, they had no supplies, zero supplies, nothing. Everything was back to zero, and they had no money to get more supplies. So then the knight starts saying, you know what? Why don't we eat the monsters down in the dungeon? And of course, the halfling and the elf girl are like, absolutely not. That's disgusting. We're gonna get poisoned and die or something, you know? And but then this dwarf guy overhears him saying that, and he's like, actually, I have a recipe book of how to eat all kinds of monsters, so let's freaking go. And that's essentially all you need to know. So now they're going through the dungeon, eating monsters along the way, and in each section, like at the end of the section, I'm gonna see if I can find it, but there's literally like a recipe of like what they've eaten. Oh, maybe they're not. There was in the first book, maybe there's not in this one. Oh well, I can't see it, but um usually at the end of each chapter there is a recipe of what they've eaten and the stats that it gives you. It's like hilarious. But anyway, so I'm going to be reading this. Manga books usually just take me a minute to read, so it should be fun. And then I saw this and I picked this one up. Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I know she also did the Carvel series, but that doesn't. When I heard the description of it, it sounded not at all interesting to me, so I didn't have any desire to pick it up, even though it was at the library. But I've also heard about this one, and this one seems a little more up my alley. Although I did read like the first like 5 pages or something, and I was like, this feels weird. This feels like it's maybe not my style, and it might not be. It might be a DNF, but I want to give it a shot anyway, like a better shot once I'm done with Red Rising, and see if I really like it. But it seems a little weird. But we're gonna check it out and see if it's fun, silly YA romance or whatever. And then I picked up this, which is by Tracy Peterson. It is called Remember Me. It is the first book in the Pictures of the Heart series. I don't know the series, but it is a Christian series from what I can tell. And it is a historical fiction as well, about a girl who is surviving in the 1800s. and she ends up kind of in a really bad situation, very destitute. And but then she finds some happiness, and she starts her own business, and then she finds, you know, there's a guy and all that. So it's a bit of a romance as well. But I'm looking forward to checking it out and seeing what it's about. It's a smaller book, so I'm looking forward to a quick read. Got a lot of big reads here. And then, of course, The Queen Will Betray You by Sarah Hennig, or Henning. Yeah, Henning, maybe. But The Queen Will Betray You. So I read the first one, which is The Princess Will Save You. They don't have any of the other ones at my library, so I don't know where I'm going to find them. But I know she has more. But I'm really looking forward to this because I really did like the first one. The first one is very reminiscent and based on The Princess Bride. Obviously, that was her big inspiration, except, you know, kind of switching up, making the princess be the hero, but a lot of similar story beats happening throughout that story that were similar to The Princess Bride, like the being mostly dead and things like that, all in there. But I really enjoyed it. Some of it was a little bit slow, but for the most part, especially at the end, boom, 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 it got really exciting. So I'm hoping this one keeps up the pace. It left off with a little epilogue introducing some other characters that could throw a spanner in the mix. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in The Queen Will Betray You, especially given the title. It looks like we still have the same characters because there is other books with different characters on the front, but it looks like this is still the same guys from the first, Luca and what was her name? Amy or something. I can't remember what her name is. Well, it doesn't have her name, but I know his name's Luca. I know her name starts with an A, so there you go. But it should be fun to see how this one spans out. I'm looking forward to it. And then, you see this? You see that? Victoria Aveyard's Realm Breaker. So I read Victoria Aveyard. I read Red Queen and the what was the second book called? Glass Sword, I think. And there was also like a midway book that was like The Cruel Crown or something. I liked Red Queen. I liked the first book. The second book, it kind of lost me. I didn't like the main character. She in the second book because she became very like, I'm the most important person here, and like, okay, I get it, sis. Like, you're like the special MacGuffin that everybody needs to accomplish the whatever thing that needs to get done. Like, I see, I perceive this, I understand that's what your purpose is. But the fact that she kept saying that and like not caring about other people really rubbed me the wrong way with her character. So I was just kind of like, okay, I think I'm done with this series. And like the next book was like even bigger than this one, so I was like, I don't want to read that. I really don't. So I didn't. But I do like her writing style. I think it's very engaging. And when I read the inside of the cover of this one, and oh, there's like a really pretty map. That's so pretty. So, I am looking to see this, and my library does have all of the books, which are all the same size. They're all like this big, dude. Like, how many pages is it? Like, we gotta see. Is it over five? Is it 600? Oh, it's almost 600. Hold up. Oh, okay. It's 563 pages. Oh, ugh. I mostly read like 300 to maybe like 380, so this is a lot for me. This is gonna take me a little while, and all of them are pretty much the same size, but they are all at my library, so that was the other reason why I was like, okay, we'll pick this up and check this out. So, yeah, we'll see. This is gonna be a big fantasy read. It sounds really interesting though, and I mean, ooh, the back looks really cool. What is the It says, a squire, the survivor of a failed test, an immortal, timeless, and unfathomable, an assassin skilled and heartless, an old sorceress holding secrets behind her teeth, and a pirate's daughter, the ward's last hope. The heroes are gone, but the fight to save the world has only just begun. That's fun. That's fun. Actually, the reason why I picked this up initially was because it looked a lot like another book that I really wanted and to read, which is Five Broken Blades or something. I don't know, but her name is Mai Cortland, I think, who wrote those ones. But they look so similar in color, and like there's a hand, you know. They're not the same, but and eventually I will pick that one up and check it out. But we're gonna start with some Victoria Aveyard and read through this giant honking book. It's gonna be great. So anyway, that's all I have. It is a lot. I have so many books. Man, I think we're gonna go from Red Rising to oh my gosh, it's like a weightlifting thing here. We're gonna we're gonna go from Red Rising all the way down here to Once Upon a Broken Heart because I kind of just want to see if I like it at all. Because if I don't, we're not gonna go there. Okay. And I'll probably just read Delicious in Dungeon on an afternoon because I can get through manga like that. So no biggie. But I'm really looking forward to it. What are some things y'all are reading? Anything good coming up? I will probably make um when I'm done with Red Rising and something else, I will probably make another video talking about those books, just briefly, just to say my final thoughts on them, um, more in depth and stuff like that. We'll see what happens. And yeah, we're gonna go from there. So I guess that's it. I guess I don't have anything else to say. What are some books that you're reading? Also, I wanted to ask if anybody wanted to have like a video on self-publishing, on my journey of self-publishing, or anything like that. If anybody's curious about what that looked like for me. If you're not, that's fine. Maybe I'll just make one anyway. Who knows? But I thought that might be something fun to talk about since that has been a real journey for me. And it's been a really fun journey. And I'd love to share that with you guys if you were at all interested. But yeah, tell me what you're reading right now in the comments. Let me know if there's anything fun and exciting on your to read list, on your Goodreads or your whatever. What's been your favorite, whatever you use, what's been your favorite book so far this year? Let me know. For me, favorite so far, oh man, that's a good question. Favorite book so far. I don't know if I can say. I don't even remember what I've read. That's the funny part. No, I don't remember. I think that Wings of Starlight is probably gonna be one of my top books. I'm not gonna lie. Um, what have I read? Oh man. I don't know. I mean, I reread The Hobbit, so that's always on the top. Oh, I did finish The Mockingjay too. I actually read it. I've seen the movies, obviously, but I never actually formally read The Mockingjay. That's a great book, dude. I don't like Gale. Okay, that's the book where I remember. Oh, I don't like Gale. Oh, boo. But really good book, and I really enjoyed every minute of that. Um, except for the part where Finnick died. I just did we you know I really like Susie Collins and respect her work, but did we have to do that? Is the question I have to ask, but as an author, I also understand that feeling of like, let's give this character happiness and let's take it away. You know what I mean? I've been there. I'm guilty. If you read my book series, The Invaris Chronicles, which is the project, and soon The Runaway, you will also know that I am not always very nice to my characters. But through that, we find growth. Of course, for Annie, unfortunately, we don't really find out what happened to her after the fact, other than that she had a baby, um, which is really depressing because that kid will never know his papa. It makes me sad, but of course, that kid will also have tons of support and has been born into freedom, which is wonderful. But I would have liked to have learned more about Annie because it feels like her entire support system was like gone. So, sad. And she was not well. But anyway, that's besides the point. Mockingjay, fantastic. I did read that, and that was a really good read. My to be read list is still it's still really long, but at least I'm gonna be knocking Red Rising, Wings of Starlight, and I think the Wing Feather Saga off of that. So that's 3 books off of my TBR, and and then just a bunch of library books. But I do love the library. And here's the thing. I don't know if you guys get this way when you go walk into the library, but I walk into the library and I'm like, this is all free books. Like I can literally just pick up I have a card that can literally just pick up any of these free books and I get to keep them for like a month. and longer if I need to renew them. Like it's just and immediately I'm like a kid in a candy store and I'm like, oh, but I want to read this and I want to read this and I want to read this. And of course every book I want to read is like this size. This size. Why? This is I'm a fantasy reader. That's why. That's why it's a problem, okay? But it's so much fun. And so immediately I'm like, oh, I've heard about this one. Oh, I've heard about this one. Oh, I've heard about this one. So anyway, I think we're done talking here. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know what happens when you walk into a library or a bookstore, because obviously a bookstore is also a problem for me. Though I can usually stop myself, except I didn't when it comes to Wings of Starlight. So, and let me know whatever you want. Good vibes, good vibes. So just remember that I love you and Jesus loves you more, and I hope you're having a great day. Bye, guys.